Hey, thanks for dropping in, everybody. My name's Dylan, and today we're going to talk about how to figure out if you should get into a new relationship. So, have you been out of the game for a while and you're thinking, man, I really need somebody in my life. I really need that close, physical, intimate connection with somebody else. And you're thinking, it's been a while, or I have a really hard time figuring out, how to pick the right person to even date. I'm gonna go through 5 signs that are really telling signs that you should probably not get back into a relationship. And using those, figuring out, what can you do differently? How can you overcome those obstacles? Quick disclaimer, whether you identify as male, female, or anything else, this will help. It is not gender specific. Without further ado, let's get into this. The first sign that you should not get into a new relationship is if your happiness constantly depends on whether or not you're with someone else. If you're always thinking, I wish I could go to that party, but everyone's going with their dates or with their significant others, and I'm just, by myself. And if you're letting that void in your life of having a relationship, if you're letting that interfere with your happiness, or if you're relying on it too much for your happiness, focus on you, because you've only got yourself for life. It's like that song lyric. Got me for life. You've only got you, and focusing on yourself and your own happiness is paramount. You need to focus on your own happiness. If that's not taken care of, then it's going to be unhealthy to keep looking for relationships to try to make you happier. And it's just going to be bad for the other person that you're trying to be with. A second sign that you should not get into a relationship is if you're pursuing love and pursuing the feeling of being in a relationship. If you're pursuing that feeling more than your own passions and your interests, that's a really bad sign. That's really showing like your priorities are mixed up. You should really just be going after what you want in life. You shouldn't let love stand in the way of that. And in some cases, if you're really ambitious or have really out there future goals where you're gonna have to travel a ton or you're gonna have to work crazy hours, then it might actually work out to not be in a relationship. And if you're letting the fact that you want to get in a relationship interfere with the things you're interested in, that's gonna hurt your happiness, and that's gonna make you feel like you need to force something to happen. And whenever you force something when it comes to love, it never ends well. So that's the second sign. Don't let your desire for a relationship outweigh your own interests. The third sign that you probably shouldn't be getting into a new relationship is that you're constantly dating people that don't work out over and over again. And this sign tends to become really obvious when you're getting advice from your friends, and the advice is like, no, that's just a boy, like, stay away. Like, you want to deal with that guy. He's bad news. He's he's a player. He's whatever. He's been cheating on girls. If you're hearing a lot of that from friends, if you're getting a lot of feedback on maybe this isn't the right person to, pursue a relationship with, then think twice about it. And if it's something you keep doing, that's, self-destructive behavior. Identify that it's not working out and ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm really afraid? Like, there's two reasons why you might keep dating the wrong person for you. And those reasons are, deep down, subconsciously, you don't want something deeper and you're hoping it doesn't work out. And that's something that I don't think is super common, but it definitely happens. Somebody's not ready for a long-term relationship. They think they want that. They think they might be ready, and it just doesn't end well at all. So don't let that be the downfall of your relationship. The other reason why they might do it is they might be insecure about themselves. They might not think that they're deserving enough of a good guy or a good girl. And that right there is just a sign that you need to work on your own happiness, your own self-confidence, build that up, get that ready, and be proud of who you are before you jump back into dating. Because that is going to help so much more when you know what you want, when you know who you are and you value yourself. That will help a ton in really all areas of life, but we're talking about new relationships today, so it'll definitely help with new relationships. So that's the third tip. You're constantly getting into relationships with the wrong people. This next sign I see a lot with my friends, which is honestly, it's really tough to watch, and I try to talk to them about it, but it's a difficult thing to talk about, and when you see it happening with your friends, it can be really weird to try to approach. And this sign, the fourth sign that you're not ready for a new relationship, is that you're constantly conforming to the other person's interests, what they want to do, all of it. You just try to be so much like that other person, and you're forcing yourself to be someone you're not. And that is super unhealthy. It's not a good recipe for lifelong happiness, for success in the relationship. If you find yourself constantly bending over backwards, doing whatever you can to make that other person happy, and also trying to really force yourself to like almost everything the other person likes. I mean, say even down to food. Say you don't eat meat, or maybe you're a vegetarian, you try meat. Like, that's a big one, but like there's other things. Just like in the topics for a new relationship video, find someone who has common interests. Don't make your interests common because you want the relationship to succeed. You shouldn't have to compromise with what you really love. And the fifth sign that you should not get into a new relationship is if you're too caught up in the past. You know, it doesn't have to be a rough breakup, although a lot of times it is. It could be you got laid off from work. Schoolwork's just really piling up. You're just not at a good point in your life right now. You're dealing with a lot of mental health issues. You're dealing with family problems. Maybe your parents just went through a divorce. There's all different types of things that can happen that people try to cover up with relationships. And then what you're doing in that case, you're subjecting that other person to those negative past things in your life. And you don't want to do that. It's really tough to start a relationship with some baggage from a past one, especially. And if there's anything else going on in your life, it can be really difficult to be open about that with a new person. And if you can, that's great, good for you. But not everybody's like that. And if you're dealing with stuff in the past, I recommend just sticking with it, you know, overcoming it, do what you have to, self-love, self-care, take care of yourself before you get in a relationship and you're taking care of someone else as they take care of you. A lot of these signs, I mean, it's obvious, but a lot of these signs really show that you need to value yourself more, or take care of yourself more, or figure out what you want in a relationship, or what you want in life, and who you are as a person. And figuring out those things will help you so much, and will start to show some signs that you are ready for a relationship. And so that's going to be the next video, everybody. I'm going to be talking about 5 signs that you are ready for a new relationship. I figured I would keep it on the same wavelength this week, and you know, kind of a follow-up video to this one. Start on the negative note, almost like giving the bad news first and then giving the good news after. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Tap that like button and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos. Glad you dropped in to check this one out. Leave a comment below. I'm always, that's another thing, I can't mention this enough. I am always willing to take criticism from you. I'm always willing to take advice from you too. I'm always willing to listen, and if you have a great idea in the comments, it might end up being a future video because I really do take the time to read them. I'm fortunate enough now where there's not a ton of them. I hope that changes, but for now it's really pretty easy to keep up with. So just leave a comment. I'll get back to you for sure, and I hope to see you in a future video. Thanks for watching.